Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mina and I am so excited for this video. As you can tell by the title, today we are going to be doing something that I've never done before on this channel, but I'm very excited for. So I decided one day I was thinking to myself and I was like, I have like 200 and something books on my TBR, on my Goodreads, which I've been adding to since maybe 2014. So there's a lot on there that I have not looked at for a very long time, and I've forgotten a lot of the books that are on my TBR. And so I was thinking to myself, I wonder what would happen if I were to have a random number generator pick the books that I would read for a week. So that's how this idea came to be. I don't know if anybody's done it before, but I am so excited to do it myself. I am recording my screen on my laptop right now. What we're going to be doing is that I'm going to have a random number generator pick a number between 1 and 257, which is how many books I have on my Goodreads TBR, and then we'll see what book that number corresponds to, and then those will be the books that I will be reading this week. And I decided to do 3 books because I feel like that's not too much, and that also means that I get to take my time with the book and really enjoy it. I'm going to insert the screen recording here and we're going to be getting started. I'm so excited. As you guys can tell, I am on the random number generator. The minimum is 1, the max is 257, which is the amount of books that I have on my TBR. So generate 52, which is is this Rinkmates? This isn't even out yet, is it? I don't think this is out yet, which I can't read. When does this publication? September, so I can't read that one, so we're gonna have to redo it. 11, that's way back. The Deal? No, that's 211. I got excited. No, where's 11? Let's go all the way down. Oh wait, whoopsies, my bad. Oh, there it is. It is not a series, girl. Stolen Songbird by Danielle L. Jensen. But it looks like a fantasy, as it says right here, as I saw. Fantasy, young adult, romance, magic, high fantasy, fae. Okay, good shit, good shit. It was published in 2014, so I'm excited about that. Alright, book number 2, 138. That's a little bit more recent. Where is it? Not a Colleen Hoover book. I haven't read one in a very long time. When does this publish? 2020? Okay, Heart Bones. Okay. I guess that's the second book that we're going to be reading. 205. What is this? This looks fun. This looks very Bridgerton-y. The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. Okay. Romance, historical fiction. Not a mystery. I see the mystery tag in there. I don't know how I feel about that. Pirates, for some reason, is a tag in this. Okay. A prim and proper lady thief must save her aunt from a crazed pirate and his dangerously charming henchman in this fantastical historical romance. I don't know if this is up my street, guys, I'm gonna be honest. But I'm gonna try it anyways. I'm gonna get those books and then we're gonna get started with this video. Hopefully I like the books. They seem promising, so I'm excited. Other than the Scoundrels one, because pirates, I don't think I've ever read a book about pirates. Let's see if I like them. And I'll see you when I see you. Today I started the random number generator picks a random book for me from my Goodreads TBR, and as you guys saw, I started with The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Holton. This is what it looks like. I love the cover. It's giving very Bridgerton. Regency era pretty dresses, but with magic, like magical realism, I guess. There's like flying houses. I don't really know how to explain it other than saying it's very Bridgerton meets Peaky Blinders with really powerful female protagonist. I finished this in one sitting. I also listened to the audiobook as well on my Spotify because I had some Spotify audio hours, and I really enjoyed this. I'm between a 3-star and a 3.5 stars because while it was really fun to read, it was very hard to get into for some reason. I love Bridgerton as much as the next person, and I love Peaky Blinders as well, and so I don't know why I had such a hard time getting into this. All I know is that it was really hard, and I almost DNF'd it like 3 times. Just read it to read it because it was a fun story and really just that's the best way I can describe it, is that it was fun. If you're looking for a fun story that kind of combines pirates, Peaky Blinders, and Bridgerton all in one, then I think you would really enjoy this. I'm glad this was on my TBR. It was a fun little cute read. Definitely opposite to the next book that I picked up, as you guys saw, which was Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, and I am 50% in. I'm on page, or maybe a little bit over 50%. I'm on page 242, and I believe this book is 353, so a little over 100 pages left. This is about a girl who basically lives in this trailer home, and she's with her mom, who's an addict, and she can't get out because her dad isn't in the picture, and her dad is like very rich, and her mom is an addict who can barely scrape along with the money that she has, and her mom dies within the first opening pages of this book, and the girl has to go and move and live with her father and his rich family. She's done some horrendous things for money, and I don't know why I'm not enjoying this as much as I usually enjoy Colleen Hoover's writing. I believe this is one of her lesser known books because when you think Colleen Hoover, you usually think It Ends With Us, Ugly Love, at least I do. I've never even heard of this book, so I don't know when I added this to my TBR, probably when I was going through my Colleen Hoover phase, but I'm really sad to say that I'm not enjoying this as much as I do. There is some merit in saying that Colleen Hoover technically uses trauma as a plot device and not in the best way. It glorifies trauma, and I really don't like that. And so this book is not really, I'm not eating it up. I don't think I'm gonna cry, which is a first, because I usually tend to cry every time I read a Colleen Hoover book, at least I used to. I am getting through it. It's very quick to read. A lot of Colleen Hoover's books and works are always really quick to read for me, at least. So I definitely think I'm going to finish this either today or tomorrow, which is exciting because I haven't finished the book in maybe 5-6 days at this point. So to finish this one today and then probably finish this one tomorrow, that's pretty good. That means 2 books in 1 week, which is great for me. I'm going to sit and probably finish this. If I can finish this today, that'll be even better, but I don't know if I will. So I'm gonna sit and read for a little bit more, and we'll see where we go from there. Officially finished Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, and I've decided to give this one 3.5 stars. I'm between 3.25 and 3.5 stars, which is a very low rating for me when it comes to Colleen Hoover, because usually I really enjoy her books. I have like 5 of hers. Where are they? Somewhere. I I own like maybe 6 different books of hers, and I've read maybe 9. I've read almost all of the books that she's released because I used to be a very big Colleen Hoover fan. A fangirl, if you will. The very first book that I remember making me feel like, oh my god, like pure devastation was Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, and then Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. And I used to like fly through them in one day, and I really enjoyed them, and I really loved them, and I thought Colleen Hoover was one of the best authors that I've ever read about. And then I don't know what happened between that period of my life and now, because I believe I read Verity, which is also written by Colleen Hoover, in the beginning of this year, literally in January, and I didn't love it as much because it was obviously her horror thriller novel, and it was very different for her, and so I just thought that I didn't enjoy it because it was a horror thriller type of novel. But I also didn't enjoy this one either, so I'm wondering if I'm going through a phase where my reading tastes have changed and I don't really love Colleen Hoover's writing as much as I used to. She used to be my favorite author of all time. Like, if I knew that I was going to read a Colleen Hoover book, it equated to me crying my eyes out for the entire night. It didn't happen with this one, obviously. This one is still very emotional, very deep, very tugs on your heartstrings, and talks a lot about trauma and stuff like that. I just don't think that it did it in the correct way. I don't know. It just felt empty, and it felt like it was using the trauma as a plot device instead of really working through it and making you care for the characters. I'm hoping that this is just a one book situation and not the author. Maybe my tastes have changed in authors because now my favorite author is probably Emily Henry, and so I'm used to her type of writing versus this one. So I'm not really sure, but yeah, I didn't really love this one, didn't really die over it. This is the lowest rating a Colleen Hoover book has ever gotten out of me. I think I even rated Verity a little higher than this one, which is very strange to think about because that book was very weird. I think this was just a one-off, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to think any harder on that. Let's move on to the third book, which I don't have yet with me, but I will in a couple of days, and then we'll start it, which I believe is called The Stolen Songbird, which is a fantasy series, and I'm excited for that. So let's roll into that whenever I get that book. This video was The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, which now feels like I've read it forever and ever ago. Really liked it. It was okay. I wouldn't personally continue on with the rest of the series because I just don't find myself interested in Bridgerton meets Pirates of the Caribbean / Peaky Blinders. Yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite. Definitely won't be thinking about this after this video. Do with that information what you will. I don't hate it, don't love it. It's just simply there, a meh, if you will. Then I read Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, and I have found myself thinking about this book every once in a while. Like, I'll think of like specific scenes that happen in this book that I'm like, oh my god, did that happen or did I just imagine it happening? I don't really know. My favorite, not my least favorite, but I think it's like in the middle between the 3 books that I've read, which is pretty good. Colleen Hoover has a specific way of writing when you enter a book of hers that you just immediately know. It's kind of like the same thing with Emily Henry. Whenever you open an Emily Henry book, at least for me, I know immediately that I've jumped into an Emily Henry universe. And so for that reason, it feels like I'm back home. With Colleen Hoover, it feels like I'm back in the same traumatic asylum, for the lack of a better word. It just feels like, okay, here we go. Here comes the trauma. Like, you know, I don't really love the trauma dumping that happens in these books. Not my favorite thing in the world. Then we read, this is the book that I had to wait for like 6 weeks at the library for, even though there was no wait for it. Loved it. Loved it. I just finished this yesterday. Read it all in one day, as you saw. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to read, really entertaining, really just loved the romance so much. It was nothing like I thought it would be, but everything that I wanted it to be all at once. I will definitely be continuing on with the rest of the series because it's just so fun. It's so entertaining, and the way that it ended made me breathless. I loved the writing, I loved the world, I loved the characters. Definitely recommend it. This is my favorite out of all three, and I'm so glad that I finally got to it because it's been on my TBR for a very long time. Most of these books have been on my TBR for a very long time. So I'm glad that the random number generator picked this book out for me. I have been missing out. If you are looking for a fantasy world that's easy to understand, fun to follow along with, and just a romance that kills, I definitely recommend this one. Loved it, ate it up. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Genuinely did not think that I would finish it in one sitting, but that's exactly what I did, and I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. These are the books that I read. I am very lucky that I got to have such a different reading experience for each separate book, and each one was a very different genre from the other. And yeah, we got a romance, we got a fantasy, we got whatever this one is, Bridgerton AU, if you will. Really loved it, really enjoyed them. Definitely enjoyed this video and had a lot of fun doing it. I definitely see myself also doing a part 2 of this video where I do maybe another round of the random number generator picks from my Goodreads TBR. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and if you want a part 2 by clicking the thumbs up and letting me know down below in the comments. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you've enjoyed any of these books. If you haven't read The Stolen Songbird, please do because it's beautiful. The best fantasy that I've read in a very long while. Yeah, I had the best time. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for watching if you watched all the way to the end. That means the world to me. I hope you have the very best day. Treat yourself to something nice, and I'll see you guys again next week with another video. Goodbye!